YouTubers. Finally, I'd had time to kind of get things situated. So this is kind of an update. And prepare yourself for, unfortunately, a very sad video. Certainly it's a video that has wounded my inner child. Now, if you'll remember, I had the crate amp that I owned that didn't work, and I gave it to a guy and he bought a speaker for it and made it into a speaker cabinet and then sold it back to me. Right? You can take a look at that. So here is the crate cabinet, right, that we had the speaker in. Man, I think the guy did a really nice job on it. I mean, you know, it's got a handle. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice for just a 1x12 cabinet that used to be a you know, crate amp that was in my shed. So, you know, now it's being put to good use. Unfortunately, I had gotten this 1970s Univox kind of amp head, and it was having problems. And what I didn't realize is that on output 2 of the amp, it was sending out unusual voltages, and I wasn't aware of that. And I, in fact, had gotten this amp head from the same guy I got the cabinet from, who bought the speaker and put it in. And so I was using that cabinet to try out this vintage amp head. And, you know, to be fair, I paid very, very little for it. So. However, to my horror, I wasn't getting any audio, and all of a sudden I saw some smoke from the crate cabinet. Right? Looked about like that. I don't know if you can see the cigarette smoke. And I was horrified. I go, oh no, what is this? And unfortunately, I blew the speaker. And here it is. This speaker started to smoke. It's a 12-inch Fender special design speaker. And it's totally blown. Now, smoke started coming from it, and that's about it. It died. I was horrified. I started to sob. Okay, maybe not, but still, I thought, boy, that's really unfortunate now, isn't it? However, as it turns out, I put the blown speaker up for sale. It didn't get much interest. I don't know why. I was hoping someone could have a use for it, or recone it. You know, so far neither of those things have happened. I think it was out of a Blues Junior 3. And it wasn't a bad speaker. I really liked the sound of the speaker. So what to do? I could curl up in a fetal position and just sob. But no, that isn't what I did. In fact, as it turns out, I had this mystery speaker, right? And what I mean by that is I had bought a used cabinet, and the guy says, oh yeah, I've got this speaker, I'll throw it in. And it's a 16 ohm speaker, 12-inch speaker, but it has no markings on it. So who knows what it is? Could be anything, really. You know? It could be everything from out of a Behringer amp, out of a crate amp. Who knows? My guess is it's probably out of a Marshall amp or cabinet, is what I'm guessing. But it has no markings on it, so who knows? So I had that extra speaker and figured, well, might as well put it in the crate cabinet, which I did. And to my surprise, it actually sounds really great. Now, I will admit it's a little bright. It can be bright, you know. But I thought it was a really good sound, you know, especially for what it was, you know. I mean, when I got it, you know, I hadn't intended on getting a speaker at all. I just wanted the cabinet, which we'll do a video on as well soon. So it's kind of a freebie speaker, right? And that's perfect for replacing, unfortunately, the blown speaker. You know? And I'll tell you, when you're dealing with amps and amp heads and cabinets, you really have to be so careful about the ohm rating. You know, that's no joke. You can definitely ruin speakers and amps that way. But even in being so careful, right, I still ended up blowing a speaker, you know. I'm not sure what that head was doing, but, you know, and it wasn't an ohms mismatch or anything. It was sending out voltages, I think. Anyway, for whatever reason. So I put this new speaker in and tried it, and was really thrilled. I mean, I thought, wow, that sounds really, really good. And we'll take a listen to it here shortly. And I guess what I'll do first is just play through a Fender Super Champ X2, right? And then switch it to the crate cabinet with the mystery speaker. And here we can take a look at it right here. So here it is. There it is, and there's the mystery speaker installed there. It's got a pretty good sized magnet, and there's the connections here, and that just plugs into an amp head. I wish it was longer, you know, and I guess I can get a coupler, you know, to make the cable longer, an extension cable. The other thing is, right now it's a totally open back And I wonder if it wouldn't be better as a closed-back speaker. That would be an interesting video to see what the difference is between the open back as it is now and the closed back. Okay, so let's take a listen to it. And there's just not much to look at because there's no markings on the speaker. Unlike the sadly blown Fender speaker, you know, it's got the Fender logo, special design. I believe it's an Eminence speaker. And in any case, okay, so I've got the just stock Super Champ X2, and I guess it's not really stock because it has a 10-inch Cannabis Rex speaker in it, but I'm going straight into the amp. Okay, bypassing a pedal board, no pedals, no nothing. So you can really hear the difference. Okay, so here's a 10-inch Cannabis Rex into the Fender Super Champ X2. I got the volume at about a little before 5, so it's kind of loud, I guess, for a little 15-watt 2-bit. Okay, here we go. And to be truthful, you know, the Cannabis Rex speaker hasn't really been broken in or anything, you know. That on like a little acoustic guitar, and you know, it's a good way to warm up. I mean, I haven't warmed up at all. So. That's a really good exercise there for warming up, by the way. One note per string. That gives you an idea anyway. So that gives you an idea of the 10-inch cannabis rack speaker anyway. Alright, so let's hook up the mystery speaker. So I've got the mystery speaker cabinet hooked up. Let's hear the difference. Immediate difference. It sounds really much clearer, a little bit more low end. So now let's hear it in context with you know, my pedal board and all that business. Okay, so here I've got it through my pedal board. What's funny is that when I turned it on, it came up with the guitar synthesizer type stuff. So you get this kind of. And here I'm going to connect the, so I can get a stereo signal, you know. I'm going to connect a Supro amp on the other channel. fan back on. Man, I was perspiring and it was going into my eye. It was terrible. Okay. So anyway, gives you a small idea. And I don't have everything set up here, but as you can see, the mystery speaker holds its own. You know, I was quite pleased with the sound of it. You know, I think it's really a decent speaker. Thank goodness it kind of makes up for the blown speaker, which I was quite sad about. You know, so this certainly makes up for it. And yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to play, you know, to play a show with that little crate cab with the mystery speaker, and in fact even record with it. It's fine. I like the sound. It's very good. You know, and easily can handle, you know, the volume of the little crate cabinet for sure. Yeah, it makes a big difference, I think, sound-wise. Really can handle its own. You know, what I was concerned about, for me, when I hear a poor speaker, is one that flubs out on the low end, which I can't stand. One of the biggest examples of that is the Fender stock speaker in the X2, little 10-inch speaker. I mean, it just, you know, it screams in agony when you pump some low-end audio. It basically flubs out. That's one thing. And then another sign of a really cheap speaker is the high end. You know, where it's kind of distorting or breaking up. And here on the mystery speaker, we don't have any of that. You know, it's quite an interesting speaker, really. And I'm really quite pleased with it. So all in all, I can't really complain, you know. I had an extra speaker, took the place of the blown speaker. Works fine. So very pleased in the end. It works out. Alright. So maybe with that crate cabinet, see what it would sound like with a closed back enclosure. Might be very interesting. Alright. See you next time.